Welcome to Upstart Footy Preview. It is freezing, wet and windy outside, but it is sizzling on the AFL field, as well as sizzling here in the Trove Media Studios. I'm Ben Waterworth, and he's not here at the moment, John Takamura, because his Western Bulldogs lost, and also he's still a bit depressed about, Olivia Newton-John not agreeing to sing with him. But we've got an able replacement. He's a fellow Western Bulldog supporter, and his name starts with J. He's also Upstart's incoming sports editor. It's a very good welcome here to James Rosewarne.
Thanks, Benny. Yeah, looking forward to working on Upstart in the coming months. It should be exciting. Should be good fun.
Yeah, it's tough work. You're in for a lot. Elimination finals normally happen around the start of September, but lots of people in the media this week are saying that the St Kilda Western Bulldogs game tonight at Etihad Stadium is the biggest elimination final for quite some time. Whoever loses this one, James, is probably out of the finals race for 2011. Two most disappointing teams, I think it's fair to say, in 2011 so far. Your Western Bulldogs, I'm not sure if they have the firepower at the moment. I think the Saints starting to hit a little bit of form. I think they might struggle tonight, your Dogs.
Yeah, both teams have really struggled this year, Benny. You sort of got a situation where they're both mired down the bottom of the ladder and both sort of nowhere near expectations. Dogs have struggled against the Saints in recent years. I think they've only won 3 of their past 15 games. So they're sort of height with Ree Walters and Koszyczki at times has troubled the Dogs. So it's going to be a really tough game. Probably the Dogs, though.
The West Coast Eagles, somewhat informed West Coast Eagles, travel over to AAMI Stadium to take on the Adelaide Crows. I said at the start of the year, James, I don't know if you heard, but Adelaide is the enigma of the competition. You never know what you're going to expect, and that's exactly what happened. They challenged Collingwood for 3 quarters a couple of weeks ago, and then they've lost to Brisbane and got thumped by the North Melbourne in the last 2 weeks. You cannot pick what they're going to do, and they haven't given me a reason to tip them here. I think West Coast, even though it's away from home, should be far too strong, with Dean Cox in all-Australian form.
Cox is in incredible form. I'd probably be inclined to say the Eagles as well. Even though they've struggled the last few years, they've had a good record against Adelaide in Adelaide. They've won 4 of their last 6 games there, so probably the Eagles too, yeah.
Match of the round by the length of plenty road is between Geelong and Hawthorn on Saturday night at the MCG. Really strange. These two played each other on the Anzac Day round in round 5, and 6 weeks later they're already playing each other again. It all depends, in my opinion, on whether Buddy Franklin plays. Of course, the second leading goal kicker in the competition at the moment. He's pulled out last week with a calf injury. Geelong don't like playing against Buddy. Mind you, who does play?
That's right.
Playing against Buddy anyway. Going for my Cats here, but not with any confidence.
2 very, very similar teams in terms of high possession teams. It's going to be a difficult one. I'd be inclined to say the Cats as well, especially without Franklin. But Chappie's in doubt for the Cats as well.
Yeah.
So, yeah, up in the air. Big game.
The Gold Coast get their second taste of playing at Metricon Stadium on Saturday night when North Melbourne goes up to the Gold Coast and plays the Suns. Tell you what, North Melbourne, very good win against the Crows last weekend. Mind you, I think the Crows weren't too impressive themselves, but Andrew Swallow played one of the best individual performances you'll ever see.
39 touches, Benny, wasn't it?
Fantastic, and something like 17 in the first quarter.
Incredible.
Unbelievable. Not sure how this one's actually going to play out. This will be close because the Gold Coast have showed improvement in the last couple of weeks. However, I think the Roos would be quite confident after last week's victory and tipping them in a very close encounter.
Gold Coast, top clearance team in the competition.
Yes.
But I'll be going with the Roos.
Yep.
Got to win it.
2 teams in completely contrasting form and completely different positions on the ladder at the moment. Carlton taking on Brisbane, Etihad Stadium, early game on Sunday afternoon. Don't think we'll spend too much longer on this one. Carlton in excellent form, genuine top 4 contender in my opinion.
Yeah.
And I don't know about the Lions. They got thumped by Sydney last weekend after some good form a couple of weeks beforehand. Not sure where they're heading. Carlton to do this one pretty easily.
Yeah, I like the Blues, Ben. They're top 4 team, second best tackling team in the competition. A great spread of goals this year as well.
Yeah.
Good team.
Sydney versus Richmond at the SCG. This is a really intriguing one in my opinion. I think the bye came at the right time for the Tigers, of course, after losing against Port Adelaide in Darwin a couple of weeks ago. Sydney, after a few disappointing performances, unconvincing performances, they came out and annihilated Brisbane, especially in that first half. I don't know about this one. I give the Tigers every chance, but it's a very tough task to go up to Sydney and beat them at the SCG. I think the Swans, but just.
I really like the Swans, Benny. Last 5 times they've played Richmond in Sydney. Sydney have won by an average of 54 points.
Jeez.
Richmond haven't scored 100 against Sydney in 10 years.
Stats man, very nice work.
So Swans for me.
Swans for you? Okay. Plenty of intriguing contests this weekend, but none more intriguing than Fremantle against Essendon at Patterson Stadium on Sunday afternoon. Two teams who started the season in really positive fashion, but in the last couple of weeks have almost come back to the pack in a way. The Dockers missing Aaron Sandlands, Essendon missing Jobe Watson. When those two players are playing, they normally play well. Aaron Sandlands won't play. Jobe Watson is a very good chance to play though, which is a good sign for the Bombers, but the Dockers at home are a very, very difficult task for any travelling team. And I think because it's at home, the Dockers should get this one only just.
Yeah, I agree with you there, Benny. If Freo are going to make the top four this year, they have to win this match.
Simply, yep. Always a big day at the MCG. Traditional Melbourne versus Collingwood Queen's birthday match this Monday afternoon. Tell you what, the D's like playing Collingwood at the Queen's birthday. They always perform pretty well. Of course, the draw last year, which was a fantastic
Jack
game
Watts'
of football.
debut as well.
Of course, that was
2 years ago.
2 years ago.
Yeah.
That was a very memorable moment. Jack Watts has certainly come on in leaps and bounds since then. He's a much more bulked up player, a bit more confident as well.
More versatile as well.
I'll give the D's every chance here.
Yeah, me too.
Because Dane Swan and Dale Thomas now, of course, after getting suspended during the week, I give the Demons every chance to win this one. However, I think it'd be silly to tip against Collingwood, who are a juggernaut at the moment, and they're heading towards a top 2 position quite comfortably. And even though the D's are in form, a big confidence-boosting win, Dean Barley really emotive after the game.
Great.
I think Pies within 4 goals though.
I probably agree with you there. Collingwood, the second worst team when it comes to hit-outs, so they're really missing Jolly.
Yeah.
And Melbourne have performed really well in that department this year. So Melbourne could push them.
Melbourne could push them, and Stephen Martin's also been very good on the
been
ruck.
great.
Fantastic for the
Been
D's. Well, James Rosewarne, your work has been absolutely
thanks,
crisp on the Upstart Footy preview. Look forward to you doing a bit more editing on the sports section.
Thanks, mate. Yeah, should be good.
Yeah, will be. And thanks for joining us on Upstart Footy Preview. Thanks also for all those bigfooty.com viewers. We do appreciate you tuning in. But make sure you stick around on Upstart, of course, the magazine for emerging journalists.